Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I cover nostalgic, obscure, or otherwise strange content. I finally got a new computer. It's all decorated with stickers. It's built to edit stuff, so I will be able to edit much more easily and much faster. I can't even begin to describe how happy I am. So for the past month, my life has been consumed by computers. My old one was dying. My editing computer, which also wasn't technically mine, died as well. And in shopping for computers, I realized that I know about as much about computers as I do about cars, which is to say nothing. Maybe less than nothing, if that's possible. And I just kept thinking about that that old instructional video. I think it was put out by AOL back in the day, back in the 90s, that several people have covered. It's like the kid's guide to the internet. Drew Gooden talked about it. His video is being recommended to me as we speak. And that video is hilarious. But since a bunch of other people have talked about it already, I was kind of, I was like, we don't need anybody else to cover it. But then I realized that there is a companion video to that video that was called The Family's Guide to Computers. And I thought it would be very funny to, with this brand new computer that I have, do a review of an instructional video for a computer from 1996. Because 1996 was also the year that I was born, and just like me, computers have advanced and gotten much scarier. So let's watch people try to figure out how to run a very simplistic version of one, shall we? Also, yes, I'm in my pajamas. It's the middle of the night, like literally, and I didn't feel like changing. Hang on, I gotta adjust my VCR, give me a second.
Low tech, high tech, Twilight Zone to Star Trek.
Oh my god, the intro music is fantastic.
Power up, download, database, break the code, CD-ROM, super slick, point and click.
But also, the way that she's just listing off different things that vaguely have to do with computers just reminds me of that Daft Punk song, Technologic.
Chart it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it.
CD-ROM, super slick, point and click.
Also, hearing anybody talk about a CD-ROM as something daunting is just wonderful.
It's another day in the life of a family, maybe a little bit like yours.
So this is the Jamison family. They are going to help us through this trying time of learning about computers.
Hi, we're the Jamisons.
Hi.
But a few months ago, we decided to join the information age.
Oh god, this brings back memories. We didn't have ours on a giant rolling cart or anything, but does anybody remember having that monstrosity of a desktop and the the giant speakers with the big ass keyboard that's on like the secondary shelf that like rolls under? They've got the printer and everything. They're good to go.
The first thing you need to do is set up your new computer system.
I also like the way that this set that's supposed to be the home that they live in is set up, where the computer is just clearly the main focal point, as if this family was so enamored with newfound technology that they just like rearranged their whole living room. There's like a shrine to the computer in the middle of the house.
It's really exciting to take the computer out of the box. And it's also a little bit confusing because there's so many cables to plug in.
When this computer arrived earlier, I was so anxious to get it set up that I took it out and got it set up so quickly that I looked down and realized that my battery pack was still shrink wrapped in plastic and was like, uh-oh. That's gonna catch on fire.
I recommend that first you make sure all the parts are there before you start to get underway.
I'm just picturing them putting the computer together with like those IKEA instruction manuals.
You know, they've made it so much easier than in the old days.
Yeah, back in my day, we had horse-drawn computers.
If you're lucky, your system will have color-coded cables that enable you to put your pieces together easily.
It's so simple, even your kids can do it.
Yeah, thanks to these big-ass cables and Windows 95, even our dumbass kids can put this thing together.
First you hook up your mouse, that's the pointer, your monitor and speakers, if you have them. Then connect your printer, and if you got lucky, you got a scanner too.
If you're lucky. I don't think my family was ever lucky enough to have a scanner.
It's fun because it lets you put photos and images inside your computer.
Wasn't there an episode, was it iCarly or Victorious? Because those shows run together in my brain. Which one had an episode where they were like looking for these famous recipes, like the pie recipes, and then they found them in the old lady's computer, like she put them like physically inside the computer? It was iCarly, right?
So, after you've got everything installed, you'll be excited.
Don't tell me how to feel.
You see the icons on the screen? They represent the programs you have.
Now you'll use the mouse to navigate around the screen.
Get used to clicking and double-clicking with your mouse to select the things you want.
Such simpler times.
Oh, also, if a modem is involved, is your telephone line connected?
Yeah, I'm sure younger people are tired of hearing all of us bitch about dial-up and how awful it was, but it really was awful. You had to kick somebody off of the phone to use the computer sometimes, and then it also just sounded like you were murdering the spawn of Satan himself every time you used it. Alright, so after we finish these 6 steps, what do we do?
If problems persist, you'll need to contact the help desk of your computer manufacturer or your retailer.
Unlike today, where if you're trying to get an electronic device set up and it's not connecting to the internet, you go onto the internet on another smart device and Google it until you find a forum where somebody has answered your problem.
Semantic PC Handyman. It can help solve simple problems, but where you have to go to the trouble to take your computer in for repairs.
I feel like the PC Handyman did not need that face. That face is staring right into my soul and I don't trust it.
It also includes an application called Crash Guard to help you recover from computer freeze-ups.
Every time my computer has ever, crashed on me, I just think of that scene from Coraline where the dad is like, I'm finally finished writing my manuscript, and then, the old-ass computer just crashes on him, and he's like, no!
If you're serious about learning about your computer, it can be a real asset to you. So let's dive right in.
We aren't already diving in? I mean, I thought we had at least done, a light cannonball in. We haven't dived in at all? Dived.
One of the most basic computer applications is word processing.
In the good old days, this was known as typing.
It's still known as typing. Cliff. I don't know what his name is. He just kind of looks like a cliff to me.
And the most fortunate used the IBM Selectric, which allowed you to go back and correct your mistakes without using that chalky white stuff.
IBM.
But then along came computers and word processing, and it revolutionized the old way of typing documents.
The way she looked at her husband only when she said the word old was so shady.
I did a great report for school on surfing, complete with footnotes, a table of contents. I was even able to spell check and format it to look very professional.
Again, I know I was homeschooled, so maybe this is just a me thing, but did anybody out there ever do a report on surfing? Why would you have to do a report on surfing? It's probably just a me thing. Everybody's gonna write in the comments about how they all had to do reports on surfing. And we're I was a surfing undergraduate in pre-K.
It got me an A.
All right.
And I did a newsletter for Girl Scouts, complete with pictures.
That's great.
That's great, honey.
I think the son is the favorite child, clearly, because he's like, I got an A on my surfing thing, and they're like, yes, our child is smart. And then the girl's like, I wrote a newsletter, and I put pictures on it, and they're like, that's nice, honey.
Not to mention all the use I get out of word processing program in my decorating business. Even though I work out of the home, professional word processing makes my company look as big as the others.
Almost, Mom.
She's like, even though I'm a housewife, I run a real business. And her kids are like, yeah, whatever, Mom, okay. I just noticed the surfboard in the corner. Did the kid buy that for his report?
You may find that the word processor included in your computer's startup package is sufficient for your needs.
Or you might need a more sophisticated program if you'll be using the word processor for a lot of different projects.
I feel like they should have explained more what constitutes needing the more sophisticated word processor, right? Because they're not really telling me a whole lot of information about the difference between the two, except that one has fonts, a lot of pink fonts, I guess,
However, they take more time to learn
that are much harder to learn.
and require more computer memory and disk space.
Ooh, not the dreaded disk space.
Look how easy it is to word process a letter or school report.
Yeah, you just type.
Was there a typo in the demo? Works great.
You know, Ann, you get more today for $250 than you used to get for twice that amount.
Okay, I know what he's trying to say.
Suites today typically include a word processing program, a database program, which is great to keep track of people and things.
That made it sound like he was keeping track of the members of his family with a spreadsheet. Sorry, I'm being nitpicky today.
Now let's take a look at the basics of getting started with Microsoft Word.
God, this interface is just bringing back memories. I used to basically just use our old computer for I don't know, playing paintball. I didn't have anything to really use the computer for, but I remember it and I loved that computer. I mean, it was less of a computer and more of like a box with a dream, but you know, if you were there, you knew. I remember when I was like 5 years old, I thought Microsoft Word was like the pinnacle of technology because I wanted to be a writer back then, and I thought that people, when I was 5, I thought that people were still transcribing books like Benjamin fucking Franklin with a quill and ink. And then I learned that you could do it on computers, and I was all kinds of happy that I didn't need to be like Benjamin Franklin.
You can move text by highlighting your selection, then choosing Edit and Cut.
What is he writing? Dear blank, thanks for the great computer. I'll work every weekend to pay for it, and I promise to get straight A's? See, until the straight A's line, I had this whole backstory going in my head, like the father was writing to, like, somebody who, like, secured him this illegal computer, and he, like, owed him a favor now. But I assume this is, like, one of the kids writing to, like, their parent? Or the parents making them work off the computer that the whole family needs? Why does it say Dear Love at the bottom? Did they not know this was going to be seen by people? Alright, so now that we've learned about Microsoft Word, let's learn about something else that I know you all were just dying to hear about today. Spreadsheets.
Say you're thinking of opening up a new business and you want to see if you're on the road to success. You should use a spreadsheet to plan your budget.
That's one possible use for a spreadsheet. Might I suggest something more fun though? Like making a spreadsheet with all the characters from Once Upon a Time and all the characters from WandaVision, and like having like margins that explain like why they're kind of the same and therefore why the show on itself is the same. I don't know. Be more fun than like the math stuff.
It's like a big form that allows you to consider what are called scenarios.
Why wasn't I that smart when I was a kid?
What was that, Mom? She like coughed and hit him on the shoulder like he wasn't supposed to say their kid was smart. We can't give him positive reinforcement, he'll never grow. I love how they're trying to make me excited for these increasingly more and more boring things with this half-hearted music transition.
Now, let's take a look at the basics of getting started with Microsoft Excel.
God, my first job ever was bookkeeping for a non-profit, and so like my whole life was working with Excel spreadsheets, and Excel spreadsheets were my villain origin story. I hated Excel spreadsheets. I mean, like everybody does, but like we were not friends. We are not friends now.
Then select the pages or the number of copies you wish to print. Even change the printer if you wish.
Whoa, 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 they had 2 printers in this household? Let's not get carried away, damn rich people.
You may find it useful to use the templates provided as examples to get started.
I think it has to be like in the 7th circle of hell, past all the bees with teeth and the, you know, fire-breathing chihuahuas. In the center, it's just a guy sitting there on a Windows 95 trying to teach you how to use Excel with this music playing in the background. It has to be, right?
MS Office, templates, spreadsheet solutions.
When I get there, I'll check back in with you guys.
With today's more powerful programs, they do require a lot more memory and storage.
I still remember back in the old days of computers when 40 megabytes was a lot.
40 megabytes is a comically low amount of space, but my money's on this computer also not having too much storage space compared to now.
Geez, Dad, that's ancient history. Did you have black and white televisions back then, too?
No.
Why is this dad, because if this is 1996 and this dad is, let's say, 40, he definitely was around for black and white TVs. Why is he acting like he wasn't? That's nothing to be ashamed of, Dad.
No, and we didn't have Duke Nukem either, and if you're not careful, neither will you.
Who? Wait, hang on. We're gonna learn something today. Oh, it's a video game series. I knew that. I 100% knew what that was.
You better explain how to reboot your computer. Sounds like we're getting our shoes resoled.
Oh, 'cause boot. Okay, I'm caught up.
To reboot, you simply choose yes if the computer asks you whether to turn itself off and then on again.
But what if you're still having trouble?
That's where the helpline comes in handy.
You better teach them how to reboot their computer. Well, they click yes when the computer says, hey, I'm gonna reboot. But what if they're still having problems? They'll call the help desk. I don't know what to tell them after that, kid.
Also, it can be helpful to buy a book with some specifics on your application.
I love the thought of buying a book to teach you how to run a computer. Isn't that a foreign concept now?
They're called graphics programs. They give you the chance to be really creative by using the computer to help you draw and paint digitally.
Oh, I can't even make fun of this one. I loved Paint. I think everybody did, but like, oh boy, did I love just going into Paint and pressing random buttons. It always looked like a unicorn threw up, but I was happy about it.
I prepared this club newsletter last month using Microsoft Publisher.
Yay!
Tell them how you did it, Dad. Everyone was so impressed by how professional it looked.
Do you think they were impressed? Do you think he came in to the meeting and everybody just was like, hold up everybody. Cliff brought a pamphlet in and he made it on his newfangled computer.
Microsoft Publisher program has helpers that are called wizards.
Wizards are sorcerers with pointy hats. Sorry, I really have been loving all the Marvel TV that's been coming out.
I prepared a sales document for my decorating firm.
Good for Mom. She's running a business. She's keeping this family afloat. Good for her.
I even helped my sister create a new resume when she was looking for a job.
Isn't she still out of work?
What the hell was that? Oh, you wanted to help your loser sister who's unemployed because she's a loser? What?
And you can make greeting cards, party invitations, posters, logos, doll clothes.
Doll clothes. Oh yeah, I guess I did that where you just like print it out and then you cut it and then you... Yeah, okay. I did that.
You'll feel like a professional graphic designer.
I assume that the purpose of this tape was to get people to buy the computer, right? Because if you already own the computer at the time of watching this, you don't need to upsell them on everything. You don't need to be so overly enthusiastic. I'm not going to say lie, but you know, you don't have to lie. But then if that was the case, why are they walking us through all these different tutorials? I'm confused as to what this was actually made for.
Your entire family will enjoy being creative.
You don't know that. You don't know my family. Maybe only 3/4 of us are creative.
It's one of the things I like best now that I've become a computer whiz.
This is dumb. I know. No one cares about this but me. Why did they frame around the dad when the subject is clearly the computer and the mom who's talking about how to use the computer? Like the mom is like about to be like shuffled out of frame and you can almost, the computer's just like down here in the corner. What was going on there, guys?
Putting our household finances on the computer was one of the best things we ever did. Our kids quickly learned that money doesn't grow on trees.
Your Windows 95 will help you teach your ungrateful, spoiled brats that money doesn't grow on trees. Okay.
To use Quicken, you simply type in the information like you're using a checkbook. Boop.
I like the boop that she did.
And when I started my decorating business here at home,
Take a shot every time she brings up the decorating business.
decorating business, decorating firm, decorating business.
She's so proud.
Dad told me he's going to help me get a checking account and use Quicken on the computer to track my funds.
What about me, Mom? I have money too.
Well, I guess you'll have to ask your dad if you can get one.
Yeah, the son's definitely the favorite.
What about me, Mom? I have money too.
Shut up, Kelly. Only men have banking accounts.
Unfortunately, viruses in our computers are as real as viruses in our families.
Hey, you have no way of knowing this, but these are unprecedented times that I'm living in. You can't just give me anxiety like that.
In this case, we've chosen the Virus Scan Deluxe program from McAfee.
McAfee. A brand name that is aged in a way that they had no way of knowing was going to be so detrimental.
They can erase your entire hard drive, make strange messages come up on your screen, and do all sorts of weird things.
Why did he seem kind of excited about the virus?
And it's important to regularly download information on new viruses because viruses are always changing.
Stop!
And at regular intervals, backup system copies all of the information on your computer so that if you have a crash, you won't lose any valuable data.
Yeah, right.
Now, on a serious note, I want you children to learn to be very regimented about backing up your data on a regular basis.
What a quintessential dad lecture to give your kids.
And I can tell you about a disaster from first-hand experience. Remember the time?
I thought we weren't going to talk about that.
You're right, honey.
But I kind of want to know what happened now.
How often do we actually have to back things up?
At school, they told us we should do it every few minutes.
Yeah, it seems funny, but you can't trust those old computers. It's the same energy as like getting on a wooden roller coaster when you're like, oh, this could go wrong at any minute. That's working on any important project on an old computer.
Just use your brain, sis.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's enough out of you two.
You can't bully your sister, only we can bully your sister.
I want the two of you kids, and you too, Anne, to be very, very careful about installing or buying counterfeit discs. You may find them for sale at school, or a friend might offer to lend them to you. Just say no.
Just say no to counterfeit discs because they're the drugs of the internet.
All because of a computer chip.
CD-ROM Excitement! Exclamation point.
Almost all the cool stuff for computers these days comes on CD-ROMs. Games, shareware, phone books.
Hell yeah, pinball was my shit. I didn't really have friends back in those days. I was just really good at pinball.
Installing the new CD-ROM technology can certainly make a difference in your child's performance in school. I became better in math because I used Mighty Math Calculating Crew when I was only 3.
Oh, hell yeah. This is unlocking all kinds of memories I forgot I had.
Show them the Life magazine CD-ROM with the contents from the past 50 years.
It's fun to do installations.
It's not. Don't lie.
First, they introduced the laser printer, which in itself made a remarkable difference in the time it took to print documents and the quality of the printing itself.
Ugh, I think I just cured my insomnia hearing them talk about printer data.
We own the new Epson Stylus Color 500 printer. For all the professional sales material I've developed on it.
As they cut to a printer with like papers just falling off the tray.
This printer has been worth its weight in gold.
Honey, don't you think that's because you're already such a good artist?
Well, that's true. Actually, dear, you know what they say about an artist and her tools?
Why do the parents give off the energy that they're like 6 months away from divorce?
I downloaded a picture from the internet and I included it in my social studies report. It looks so great that I got an A.
I like the thought that a teacher gave him an A just because he downloaded a picture from the internet.
Wasn't that an A-?
So I forgot to spell check. An A is still an A.
I mean, an A's an A, C's get degrees.
And I included it in my social studies report.
That poor kid, they really only gave him one take, didn't they? He's just rushing through those lines. Bless.
I don't know what you mean by default printer, Dad.
Well, honey, some people might have more than one printer. For example, they may have a black and white printer and a new color printer like ours.
What a humble brag. I mean, not everybody has this, honey, but we have a new color printer.
All because of a computer chip.
I'm gonna wake up in a cold sweat, screaming, because of a nightmare that the computer chip lady was chasing me.
All because of a computer chip.
I just know that's gonna happen.
You'll find games bundled in with Windows 95, like Minesweeper, FreeCell, Hearts, Solitaire, and 3D Pinball.
Truly the golden era of gaming.
And there are probably a lot of other games that come bundled with your computer on a CD-ROM or a floppy disk.
Woo!
And I got a free golf program on CD-ROM.
Oh boy, I think I just heard the most Caucasian sentence I've heard in a very long time.
Yes, honey, and knowing how you play golf, it's probably a good thing. You'll be a lot less frustrated.
God! Ah! Do you remember the episode of Sweet Life of Zack and Cody where the mom had to perform with like her ex-rival from the cruise ship? They're giving me that same exact energy.
Dad, what is that? You look like you're ready to decode secret messages on a submarine.
With this system, I can dictate a letter or draft a report without using a keyboard or a secretary.
We live in the future. I can just let my secretary go.
See? I'm doing it now. And you can train it to increase its accuracy to 97%.
If you train it, it gets up to 97%. Bless.
But I have some great ideas how you can research that report using your CD-ROM encyclopedia program.
An encyclopedia CD-ROM. That is a very 90s thing to have. Farewell from the Jamisons. Ah, fare thee well, Jamison family.
This whirlwind tour has been fun, but we're just about out of time.
But gee, Dad, I wanted to tell our viewers some more about some great computer programs.
And what about CD bundle bargains?
I like how they're like, no, Dad, please, I want to talk about spreadsheets more.
Let me show them the invitation I've been working on for your birthday party.
Well, as you can see, our home computer really has touched our lives.
They look like they've never seen a birthday invitation before.
See you next time!
Low tech, high tech.
And we get the famous song again, and then that's it, that's the end. So yeah, in summary, we live in the future. Our cell phones are undoubtedly more powerful than what they were trying to set up in this. And if there's one thing I want you guys to take away, it's that paintball was the shit. And I ruled at it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I can always do another video if you want me to on the Kids Guide to the Internet, but several other people have talked about it, so I don't know if there's any need for me to do that, but, you know, let me know what you guys want to see. I'm going to leave this video here. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing. Everything you do to support this channel means the world to me, guys. If you're new here and you're a fan of nonsense, maybe consider sticking around because I post nonsense all the time. And remember, my name is Avery. I'm a YouTuber if you say so, because thanks to you guys, this is technically a YouTube channel. God, when they made this video, they had no way of knowing that this whole thing, the me being here and you listening to me would even be possible. That's just so trippy. I need to go to bed.